at the farm today and we're gonna plant some turmeric.
Yo, peace family, love, abundance, manifestations, and gratitude. We are here today at the farm and we are harvesting and planting turmeric. It is the fall, the late fall, approaching winter, and this is a great time to put our rhizomes into the ground. One thing I love about turmeric is that they're very resilient, and last year we harvested turmeric. We planted them in like small cow pots. We put soil in them and we left them outside in our backyard. They survived the whole year and they all came up. So this particular time, we're gonna actually bury them into the ground so that they'll just be right in place when it's time for them to come up in the spring. So right now, Angelique is shaping out the beds using the grub hoe. This is one of our favorite tools for soil cultivation, one of our favorite hand tools specifically. But we're just digging a trench and we're gonna lay the turmeric rhizomes inside of the trench. We've already marked out the beds and we're gonna do 4 turmeric beds using the same trench method, and then we're gonna put the rhizomes into the trenches. This takes only a few minutes. She's scraping it maybe like twice in each position before she moves on to the next. And we just need a trench so that we can pour that soil back over the rhizomes. We have sandy soil in our space, so it's no need to dig super deep and loosen the soil or anything like that. The soil is not really compacted and the rhizomes will do their job. We're gonna leave them in there for 2 years before we harvest them. Now these beds were pretty easy to make. It didn't take all but maybe 10, no more than 20 minutes to make these beds. Now speaking for our soil, it's pretty sandy. If you have clay soil or compacted rocks and stuff, it might take a little bit much to dig these trenches. And for what it's worth, we did till up this space before one time, but since we're practicing the no-till method, that's all it took. And from that point, we laid it with this tarp. We then pulled up the tarp and it left all of this rich organic matter onto the soil. We planted cover crop seeds in this space so that they'll be the first thing to jump. And we also have, y'all can see green here and there, those are elderberry trees we planted along with our turmeric that we're about to plant. We also planted some sugar cane, that's a mulberry tree, but that's getting away from today's topic. These are the trenches for the beds, and let's go over to the turmeric. Now that we've dug our trenches and created the space in which we'll be planting our turmeric, now it's time to harvest our turmeric. We love to harvest our turmeric when the leaves are nice and brown. That lets us know that they're at the end of their growing season. So this is a great time to harvest the turmeric. And what we like to do is we would chop these off and actually use this as organic matter. Now you can put this in your compost space if you'd like. This is fine carbon that'll help make great compost, but what we like to do is just throw it on top of our soil, and it acts as sort of a mulch in which we'll be protecting our beds throughout the winter and into the spring. But what we do is you got to get your bearings right. This looks like a heavy cluster, so maybe I'll start with this one right here, but kind of clear around the space. And like, let's say you're doing this cluster right here. The point is to pull straight up. So you don't want to pull from an angle like this or like that, whatever. You want to pull straight up. All right, so here we have the mother root that I pulled out. But if you look into the soil, you'll see these fat rhizomes. Look at this. Beautiful orange turmeric. So this is what we're going to be planting in our spaces. So you pull straight up. If they're super tough, they might break off. That's okay. You're going to have some left over. You could do a scavenger hunt and look for the leftover ones, or you could leave them because they're going to come back next year. But this mother root is a perfectly fine plant that could be planted into the ground and used for the following season. These rhizomes, this is what you would typically use in your tea or your food to make curries. This is the turmeric that people consume as a powder, but you can also replant this turmeric. So you can plant both the mother rhizome, you can plant the rhizomes that came from that, and you can also use this organic matter to help feed your soil. So that's a few reasons why we love turmeric. Alright, so we're gonna try to get a clean pull. I don't know why it's so crazy over here. Kind of work the soil back a little. And we're gonna try with this pull up method again. Oh, look at this. Like some type of centipede or something. I ain't about to touch it. That thing body slammed me, but look like it's trying to get back into the soil. Anywho. Yeah, this one's crazy right here. But this particular space, since it's connected to this moringa root, they might be working together. But let's go into another one that's less challenging, so we can show y'all how it's done. Alright, now this shouldn't be as crazy, or should it? Pulling that organic matter back. Shaking off the soil. I can see the rhizome. Wow. Would you look at that? And there you have it. Lovely turmeric, rich orange colors. You got the mother plant holding all her offspring together in a cluster, and we about to propagate them. Now we don't have the processing equipment and space available to process the amount of turmeric that we about to be getting, but this is a long-term play. So the goal is to plant more turmeric so that we can have enough to use a facility and just keep expanding like a cultural library, if you will. Again, these make great teas. These are high in antioxidants, and they just make wonderful plants. In some spaces, I believe in Asia, in Southeast Asia, they use the leaves in their cuisine. But when they get brown like this, you could just cut them off, put them back into the ground. And again, these come back every year. Turmeric is a perennial plant, non-invasive, growing right next to what looks like a echinacea. So we got echinacea, turmeric, growing right next to moringa. A wonderful polyculture. This is our hedgerow, and we're just gonna expand our turmeric production, y'all. Find our turmeric, move all this organic matter out of the way, which we don't mind too bad. It's helping to protect our soil. Trying to give it a nice tug. There's the mother plant. These look like a lot of young mother plants in this cluster, but something tells me there's more than meets the eye. There we go. Y'all check that out. So these turmeric have been here for 2 seasons, and there's no doubt going to be more turmeric coming up in the same space come spring, so we don't have to worry about getting every last little bit. But we're going to take these over to our space and get it popping. So this will turn to this, which will give you this. So now that we've got our clusters, Angelique is going to take one of them, pretty much separate the offspring rhizomes from the mother plant. You see the offspring is going into this pile, the mother plant is going into this pile, which will repot again. So now she's going to get a rhizome and just plant it into the holes. Bam. And that's pretty much it. All right, y'all, so we're done for the day. As you can see, we have our turmeric and our rhizomes all laid out, and we're pretty much going to take these clusters like Angelique showed, take these rhizomes, and we're going to plant them into our spaces. Now, just so y'all can see, honestly, even each one of these nuggets would create a new plant. So I might break it up just like that, put this one into the ground, I'll walk over here, then I'll lay it down. We planted one about right here, so maybe about 6 to 8 inches apart is how we do it, just like that. The other one is right here. We're going to come back and put all the soil on top, but this is just showing y'all how we do it. So we're doing them about 6 inches apart, covering them up. Really, they'd be covered up like this. Call it a day, and that's it. What we'll do in the future is we'll come back and maybe in about 2 days, see, we got enough time since it's the fall season, so it's really like an elongated time to fertilize our beds, to add minerals, and to put organic matter into the soil so that they could be ready and robust in the spring. So my point is, today we just wanted to replant the turmeric, but eventually we'll come back and we'll add the organic matter and feed them so that they can be enriched for the new season. So we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Make sure y'all stay tuned for more content. Consider subscribing to our Patreon for exclusive content. And as always, thank you for being smarter by nature.